So in this video we're going to find derive a formula that we can use to find the angle between two straight lines. So when I say angle between two straight lines, it's rather ambiguous. So if you look at two straight lines, now if they are not parallel lines, right? If the gradients are not the same, then they will intersect at a point. Right? So this will be the point of intersect. So you know how to find the point of intersection, right? So that's simple, right? So now you can see that what is the angle between these two straight lines? You have two angles, this angle and another angle. This is one, let's call it alpha, right? And the other angle is beta. So which one do we mean when we say angle between two straight lines? So we will only find one angle. Now here's the thing, if we know alpha, then you can determine beta by this equation. Beta would be pi minus alpha, because this is 180 degrees, so you have to deduct alpha from 180 degrees, then you get beta, vice versa. So in this case, we're going to derive a formula to find the acute angle. So alpha is the acute angle, acute, beta being the obtuse angle. So අපිට ලේසි acute angle හොයන එක. මොකද when we deal with acute angle, then all trig functions would be positive for acute angle. So that's why we define or derive a formula to find the acute angle. Okay. So how do you find it? Let's go through the derivation now. Right. So we have two straight lines, say y and x axis, and the gradients, right? So gradient corresponds to the angle that a straight line makes with the positive x axis. So let's find this angle. Let's call this is theta 1, right? Then this would be theta 2, right? And this would be the acute angle between the two straight lines. Could be acute or obtuse, we don't care. Now what do you think? So I don't know whether which line has theta 1 or which line has theta 2, doesn't matter. Suppose the gradient of this line is m1, gradient of this line is m2. So what we can do is that m1 would be tan theta 1, m2 would be tan theta 2. This we know, right? Okay. So this angle theta, this is what we need to find. Theta is equal to theta is equal to, so theta plus theta 2 equals theta 1. So theta 1 minus theta 2. This difference. Now here I'm going to put plus or minus here because I don't know which one is greater out of these two. But plus or minus them. So to get rid of plus or minus, I can put modulus sign. Modulus sign we need only the acute angle. අපිට negative angles එක අදාළක් නැහැ. අපිට ඕනේ acute angle විතරයි. It's a positive angle, so we require only the modulus, the absolute value of this difference. Okay. Now we would only know m1 and m2. So using this m1 and m2, we're going to determine this angle. So we have to take the tan of these. So tan theta. So I'm going to put the absolute value of tan theta 1 minus theta 2. So you know that this from trigonometry, this is the compound formula for tan, that would be tan theta 1 minus tan theta 2 divided by 1 plus tan theta 1 tan theta 2. So what is that? Tan theta 1 is m1, so this is m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. So this would be tan theta, right? Tan of the angle. This is the tan of the angle. So we can find theta to be tan inverse of this value. m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2 මේක තමයි angle එක. So here theta is acute angle. This is the acute angle because this is positive. මෙයා positive වෙනවා. Tan එකේ obtuse angle එක, if you take the tan of an obtuse angle, then that would be negative definitely, but this is positive. So theta is the acute angle. If you need the obtuse angle, all you do is pi minus theta. Pi minus theta. Okay. Right. So let's analyze two cases under this. If either one of these two is equal to 0, then what would be the angle? Right. So if m1 equal to 0, m2 equal to 0, suppose m1 is equal to 0, in this case theta would be tan inverse, right? So m2 would be minus m2 divided by 1. This is tan inverse of m2. This is tan inverse of m2. That is merely what? m1 equal to 0, that means this is actually the angle that the line 2 makes with the positive x-axis. For example, suppose this is a scenario like this. So m1 is equal to 0, no? That means a parallel line to x-axis, y equals something. This is y equal, let's say c line, and there's another line m2, right? So in this line we have this is another line, so the gradient is m2 in this case. So m2 has an angle here. This would be theta. This would be theta. It's the same theta. So the angle between these two would be theta. So let's look at the other case. The other case being either one of these is not defined. Right. So if one gradient is not defined, then you know the line is vertical, right? So this means one line is vertical. The line whose gradient is undefined would be vertical, right? So it's a scenario like this. You have one line like this, it's called L1, and you have another line, right? Here we have M2, let's say M2. Imagine M1 is not defined. That case, then what would be the angle? So m2 would be the angle, let's say theta 2, right? This is theta 2. Then what should be the angle between these two? Since this is perpendicular, this is these two axes are perpendicular, then this angle should be pi by 2 minus theta 2. That should be the angle between these two straight lines. No, my happy? Right. So now let's get into some examples. Right. So we start off with a simple example. Find the acute angle between the lines, these two lines. So given two straight lines, the equation of two straight lines, you have to find the gradient, right? So usually they are given in standard form. Let's first write down the gradient. Suppose this is m1, so the gradient would be minus x coefficient divided by y coefficient minus 2. So the gradient is half. Then here the gradient, let's say m2, it is equal to minus 3 divided by minus 1. The answer is 3. These are the two gradients, right? So let's now use this equation. Theta equals tan inverse m1. Let's pick anything. m1. Half minus 3 divided by 1 plus half into 3. Right. So tan inverse. What do we get from here? Minus 5 by 2 divided by 5 by 2. So this is tan inverse here this is -1, so modulus of -1 is 1. Tan inverse 1. So what angles what angle is given by tan inverse 1? This would be 45. This would be 45. So if you want to sketch it, do a small sketch, right? So write down the lines x minus 2y plus 3 equals 0, and the other line 3x minus y plus 7 equals 0. The acute angle between them would be pi by 4. It's very easy. So you have to memorize this formula. If you memorize this formula, then this would be easy. Right, so it's another example. The angle between two lines is tan inverse 3. So angle if the gradient of one line is half, find the possible gradients of other lines. Okay, so let's use this equation. මම මේ equation එක හැමතැනම ලියලා තිබ්බා උනට කැමති නම් පාවිච්චි කරන්න කියලා. Right. So put theta equal then tan inverse of 3 equal tan inverse of this whole thing. Suppose the gradient of other line is m, then m minus half divided by 1 plus m into half. Right. So tan inverse cancel out, then 3 would be m minus half divided by 1 plus m divided by 2 gradient. Now we have the absolute sign. How do you get rid of the absolute sign? You can put plus or minus c. So plus or minus 3, then 2m minus 1 divided by 2 plus m. Then common denominator, then 2 plus m divided by 2. Here 2m minus 1 divided by 2. 2 cancels out and we have this. The positive consider karot, we get plus 3 into this. So 3, 2 plus m equal 2m minus 1. Then what do we get? We get 6 here, then 3m. Right. Then we have 2m, so minus m. 6, when you bring this over, would be 7, so m would be minus 7. This is one possibility. The negative possibility, the negative part, then this would be negative 3. So negative 6, negative 3m would be equal to 2m minus 1. Right. So when you bring it over, this becomes 5m. This would be minus 5. Right. So m would be minus 1. M would be minus 1. So these are the two possibilities. So what does it mean? Why do we get two possibilities? Now here's the thing. Let me make a sketch of this. Right. So if you have a straight line with a defined gradient, let's say m equals half, then I can draw two lines. Two lines, maybe they may not go through the same points, it doesn't matter. Two lines with the same angle. So this would be the same angle and this would also be the same angle. Clear pain with here. Right. See, they both have the same angle between them. So possibilities, that's why we get two answers. Right, m equals minus 1 or m equals minus 7. Right, so that's the end of this video. In the next video, we'll see how to find a line that goes through the point of intersection of two other lines. Okay, thank you.